going on, guys? This is Bruce Matz, and your host of the show, Metro Scout Fantasy Football, the show where we talk about all things fantasy football, Dynasty, Redraft, DFS. But in this episode, we're going to be talking about Rashod Bateman's Pro Day and what I think and what you guys should look at as well. And it was very interesting. This is probably one of the most interesting Pro Days we've had these last couple of days. We've had a lot of information coming at us. Rashod Bateman's Pro Day is probably one of very few in the history of me being a fantasy football, dynasty fantasy football, NFL draft, whatever you call me, an analyst of some sort in this game. I've been doing this for almost a decade now. This is the first Pro Day that I've seen that really caused me to really think about things about a player that I really liked. And really it's because I've kind of been fed misinformation about his size. He came in today a little bit over 6 foot and weighed in 190. He's been listed at 6'2", what was it, like 215-ish his whole career at Minnesota. So the weight difference is a big impact. The big impact to his player profile. There's not many productive wide receivers at that weight at 190 pounds, and then he's also a shade shorter. The shortness doesn't bother as much because if he was around the 200-pound mark, he'd be a little thicker, stockier. There's a lot of things that I think about when I see this, when I see these numbers, and my mind initially sparked up when I saw this. When watching the tape, going back and thinking about what I've seen, I look at him as a player that had enough speed to get downfield. He had speed, burst. He was fast enough, but he wasn't a blazer. From looking at this number at 190 and him being listed that high, like 215 range, 210, 215, 212, somewhere around there, I think he cut weight for this Pro Day to run a good 40. He was listed at 439, 438-ish range. It's a Pro Day. These numbers are off. I got 439 in front of my face right now. So realistically, it's hard to tell what that number really was. That could be low 4.4s, probably, more than likely. Tape tells me he's fast. He's fast enough. But looks like he dropped some weight as much as possible, MMA fighter style, to hit these numbers. I know 100% sure, though, looking at his body type with his shirt off, I'm not a scientist of body types or anything. I may be a little bit of a gym rat, but looking at his body type here, him running that 40-yard dash, it does not look like he's had 215 pounds of size on him throughout his career. He might have been hovering around the 200-pound mark during some times of his career, maybe the early days, maybe last year. He might have been hovering around there, but he's probably naturally maybe 195, 200-pound guy, and he dropped a little bit of weight to get down to 190, which is natural. But all in all, 190 is a scary number for a guy that I was holding in high regards. So I'm going to have to redo my wide receiver rankings. I'm not going to move him down a lot because I see his style of play, his technique, how well he plays, and then the production numbers, what I see on tape, and his athleticism on tape, and how he wins. It's something I can't take away either. I was not counting him weighing 190 pounds. There just aren't very many successful wide receivers at the NFL level at that weight. But he's still a baller. He's still a gamer. And it just matters where his draft capital is going to be and where NFL teams are going to weigh him in. No pun intended. If he gets top 100 draft capital, I'm all in. If he slides and he becomes a 5th-round guy, I'm still interested. I'm still going to be drafting him, but I'm going to be drafting him more at value. I'll be ahead of value a little bit because I'm still going to make sure I get him. But it's going to be a big shock in how I have him perceived compared to before today where he seemed like a bulletproof prospect, and now this little red flag. It's just a little red flag. It's 190. Meal at Taco Bell, he's 195 and probably similar speed. So it's something I can't kill him for. But I have to recognize, I don't know where to really put him at this point. I don't think I'm really going to drop him much. But if I do, it's going to be a little bit. I still hold him as one of the best wide receivers in this class. And I still want him on all my Dynasty teams. And I'm going to ride and die with him until he's out of the league. He has that breakout age. He has a massive market share production numbers. He was able to compete with one of the best wide receivers at that time in college football, Tyler Johnson, and still produce. Looked good on the field this year. He had over 30% market share in all the games he played in except for one, and that one was like, 22-25%. The one that was below 30% had some 60% games. So he was productive. He looked good on the field, and he did not look bad. He was just slim, trim, and he did have some speed. Slim, trim, and fast. Can't knock him for that. Can't knock him for cutting some weight and running the 40 if that's what he was doing. I'm pretty sure that's what he was doing. He was cutting and making sure he's as fast as he can to prove that he's got that deep speed. It's probably one of the things his coaches, the people he's working with in training, was talking about that he needed to hammer home into this draft season, was that he has speed. That's one of the things. There was a lot of things, but one of the things that hurt Tyler Johnson when he was coming out. So they wanted to make sure that he was good to go. Good 40 time today. That's something people aren't talking about. That 4.39 is pretty good 40. And even if you adjust it 0.05 or whatever, as well, 4.43, 4.4, 4.45, whatever, that's good. That's very good. You can add a tenth to that. It's still good. It's still good. As long as you're not hitting that 4.5s at that weight. However, when you're weighing at 190, I need you to hit 4.3s. I need you, or be minimum 4.4. Minimum, because when you're at that size, when you're smaller, you need to have that speed, to have that extra way to win, because you're less likely to win with size. And he wins on the field at the college level with size, because he can rise up, climb the ladder, pluck balls out of the air, contested catches. So this is going to be very interesting if he maintains this weight throughout his career, which I don't think so. I think he's going to bump up some. I imagine between now and draft day, he'll probably gain 5 pounds or so. And then when it comes to in season, he'll probably be sitting around 200. I imagine that's where he's at. That's just me speculating. I don't know anything, but just analyzing, putting common sense together. I'm going to cut down from my pro day, run a good 40, and then I'm just going to be going back to normal. I'm probably going to sit around my natural weight then, which looks like it's around 200-ish, maybe 195-ish, which I can give it and take it. He had a good 40, good speed, and has good college production and good tape. I'm not going to knock him too much for that. We saw Jamar Chase drop some weight from what he was listed yesterday. No one was on that, but it was an acceptable mark, though. 190 is scary. But I want to thank you for watching the show, sticking along with me. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, ring the bell, tell your homies, and I'm out.